With us right now is Leslie Gabola, the owner of Adapt to It. And as usual, she brought along a bunch of
my stuff.
Show and tells, right?
Yeah,
Good
exactly.
to see you.
Good to see you.
Now, what we're going to talk about today are some myths and things like that.
Yes.
And what we're going to talk about first are canes.
Mm-hmm.
And you've brought canes on in the past just to kind of show different styles and things like that. But one of the biggest confusions is what side do you use your cane on? And let's say somebody just has a bum leg where nothing really serious, they twisted their knee or something or whatever it may be. They may need a cane for a couple of weeks or whatever. Tell us the proper way to use the cane.
Okay, so the myth is that you use it on your affected side. So you use it on your sore side. That's the myth. But busting the myth is that's not true. You use it on your opposite side. Because what the cane does, it provides stability and gives you kind of a relief for the affected side. So how we all walk, we all do our opposite arm the same time as our opposite leg. And so if your left leg comes forward, your right arm will come forward. And so if your left leg is affected or weak or you twisted your knee, then your right side will support that. So you can lean on the cane instead of your affected leg.
Ah, okay.
And then the other thing is that when you're using a cane or going up and down stairs especially, it's up with the good, down with the bad first.
Ah,
so
okay.
You go up with if your left leg is affected, you go up with your right and down with your left. And that takes,
why down with your bad
because
side?
that takes the weight off the affected part, the affected side. And so, and you don't, it's funny because unless you're injured, you don't give a second thought to this. And nobody realizes until I point out that, the oppositeness.
Yeah.
And nobody realizes it, and everybody stops, everybody does it. They stop, they think about it, and they say, okay, if I put this one forward and then I do this. And I say, no. Stop thinking and just walk.
Right.
Because it's a natural pattern. And so when they do that, they end up leaning on their cane and relieving that pain, and it works great. It's
interesting.
It's really funny. It's kind of counterintuitive.
It is.
But it works.
Yes. Now the other part of that is that canes have to be ugly.
Ugly.
And of course, that's a matter of perception because some people may like the old style canes, meaning made from cane. The wooden ones with the little crook, which is great if that's what they like, although they're not very stable. Yeah.
That is fine.
Yes.
I have no problem with it. And if you come into my store, you know that I love canes, and I have a lot of them. And I have the wood and the aluminum and carbon, and I have everything. Kind of what I'm talking about is that metal hospital cane.
Right.
That silver metal that says cane.
Yeah.
I'm using a cane.
Yeah.
Why not have an accessory?
Right.
A fashion
you make a good
statement.
point.
And you can get them in different colors to match different outfits. Men can get really dapper, sophisticated wood walking sticks.
And they can wear a little jaunty cap, too.
Absolutely. So you can dress it up or dress it down however you want. I love this cane. This is from a company that was started actually in the 1800s in England.
Really?
Yeah. And the great-great-grandson runs it now.
So back in the days when a cane was truly an accessory.
Right, exactly. And they appreciated, the good woods and workmanship and all that. And we have those types of canes in. But this is actually a folding cane, but it's really pretty. It has the Swarovski crystals on it. It has a cute little handle here, and it folds. So you can take it with you wherever you want to go, and it's height adjustable.
Yes.
So it fits most people. And then this handle is a really comfortable handle to hold.
Very nice.
So, and typically when you hold a cane, a lot of people hold it this way, but it's much more comfortable and more efficient if you hold it this way. So kind of if there's a crook, that it's facing back behind you.
Very good. Now we are going to talk about these stockings, these So tell us what they are exactly.
Okay. So here are what are called anti-embolism
Let me go
stockings.
like this, just so we can give you a little room here.
These are anti-embolism stockings. And what these are the old-fashioned white stockings, not really old-fashioned. These are the white stockings that you get in the hospital. And if you think about when you're in the hospital, what are you doing? Most of the time you're lying down, right? You're not up and walking, or if you're up and walking, you're probably not walking very far, thus being in the hospital. So what these are the white ones that everybody wears in the hospital. They're made for wearing when you're lying down. They look similar to the other ones, but they're made of a little bit of a different material. And they have one compression. They're about 18 millimeters of mercury, which means it's the pressure pressing on the outside of your leg. And so the difference is that the myth is that these are the same as these. And busting
even though it's made by the same company.
Exactly. But they're two totally different things. These are made for when you're lying down in bed or walking less than 150 feet. And these are made, they're white, look similar. They look more like socks. And these are made for when
you
you're
can feel the difference. These
up
are
and walking around.
Thicker and
Exactly, they're thicker. And they have a graduated compression. So they're 15 to 20, so they have about 20 compression at the ankle and less as it goes up the leg.
And it's hard to see on camera, but they're ribbed. They've got the, for lack of a better, they look like those bedspreads. You know what I'm talking about? But obviously that's because of the way the compression is.
Exactly. So these come in colors. They come in sand, black, and white. And with the compression, as we discussed, I think last week, it helps move the fluid up and out. So that's that myth.
Okay, now we're talking about these seat cushions, right?
Yes.
And we have two different kinds here.
Okay, so this is a big one, and these are all really common things that come into the store all the time. So, okay, so what this has a hole. It's hard to see with the cushion on, or the cover on it. But it has a hole in the middle. This is a donut. And this is a coccyx cushion. So the myth is I'm sitting for a really long period of time, my tailbone hurts, I need a donut. So the myth is that, and busted is that this pillow, if your tailbone hurts and you sit a lot, will make it worse, will make it hurt more. Because it puts pressure up on your tailbone. What this is for are things like hemorrhoids and stuff like that.
Did you say hemorrhoids?
Very quietly. And so it's a polite way of saying where the issue is, right? So anyway, so this one is for that. And other things. And then this one is for your tailbone. So this is a coccyx cushion. Tailbone is your coccyx, fancy name for it. And you sit on it this way. So you sit on it back, your tush goes here, your legs go there. And this one is actually made for the car. Because
I was just going to ask you that. Is it okay for the car?
And any of these are, but a lot of car seats are smaller these days. And so this one fits really well in it. But the benefit, if you can look at it, it's higher on the back than it is on the front. And what that does, it helps put your back in alignment. Because if you've ever sat that way with your tush higher than your knees, you can't help but sit up straight.
Exactly.
So it puts you in a great position, takes pressure off your tailbone, and is very comfortable for a longer period of time.
Very nice. So now we know the differences. Very good. And that makes a lot of sense. And of course, you can help people out. This is what you and your staff does. If they come over here and go, which is the pillow right for me? That kind of thing. Or the stockings. And of course, you specialize in all kinds of different kinds of canes and things like that.
We do.
Very good. And you can get fancy ones like this.
Fancy fun.
And by the way, when it comes to the canes, would it depend on what ailment that they have as far as the thickness of the cane or anything like that?
A little bit, yes.
Okay.
Like if you were a larger person, you would want a sturdier, heavier
Right.
cane. If you needed more stability, we actually have bases
Right,
that you can
right.
add to many of the canes, or we have those quad canes that already have the bases on them.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Nice to see
As
you.
always,
Thank
they're
you.
located under the big flag right there on the corner of El Toro and Paseo de Valencia. There's a number on the screen, 457-1600, adaptoit.com. Good to see you.
Thank you.
We'll be back.